buzz. First and foremost, congratulations on this victory. I know when you're building something like you're building, you need these signature victories along the way. You got it today. How did you get it today?
Well, I think that true confidence can only come from your work, and I think what is happening with our program, not just specific to the kids that are playing, is that we're maturing to the point that if it's true confidence and it can only come from your work, that means it's specific to what we do. It's not specific to the opponent. It's not specific to the crowd. It's not specific to the TV exposure. It's specific to us. And I think that we're getting to the point where we're narrowing our lens to better understand that in order to be accountable, we have to be monitoring and paying attention at all times to our work, and we can't become distracted by the change in environment.
You talked about one of the things today, consistency from start to finish. Get off to a good start, put 40 minutes together, value every possession, which you did.
Yeah, I think that some of what you've seen that we've been able to do at times leading up to today, there were longer stretches of it. We did start better than we did the previous two games, but I thought there was more sustainability. And I think that sustainability burnup comes from just being focused specifically on the controllable things. The controllable things are our pace. The controllable things are how we want to play. The controllable things are what we want to do specific to playing to the scouting report. And our staff did an incredible job preparing. And, you know, so much you always hear coaches say it, and it's kind of cliche, but it's so true. It's really not what the coaches know. It's what the players can execute. And I think that our staff collectively has done a phenomenal job up until this point of knowing this is the core information that's most critical to give to our kids. And our kids know that we're not trying to overload them, but if we give it to you, it's critical that you're able to execute it.
I know he didn't set any career highs statistically or any of that today, but was this the smartest basketball game that Seth Allen has played since he's been here?
It would be hard to argue that. I'm not sure that I've learned more from a player off the floor than Seth. Seth will play for a long time, but when Seth's done, if I'm still coaching, I want Seth with me. He's got a lot of Jamie to him in that how he thinks is a little quicker than most, and he sees things through a different type of lens. And I think what makes Seth special, I know he played really good. I'm not negating that. But I think that what makes Seth really special is the gift that he has to see those things, like I mentioned, but it's the spirit in which he communicates what he sees. He is so good with our guys. And our new guys, Seth is the first point of contact for them. When we bring a recruit in, Seth is all-time hosting the visit. And he's done that since he's been here. He was hosting visits in year number 1 when he wasn't playing, and it's because of his spirit to communicate in a player's way, and he has a vibe on what it is that specific player needs to hear and be able to understand.
How about Justin Bibbs today? He struggled the last couple games somewhat, 1 of 13, I think, and 0 of 8 beyond the arc. But when you get that production out of him today, 4 out of 5, you could just kind of see he got his confidence back. He was in attack mode, 4 or 5 beyond the arc. He had a heck of a game.
Well, you can't play Bibbs exclusively as a shooter. And I think Med, statistically, as far as the numbers, had inched up slightly above Bibbs. But nobody thinks that you have to play Med as a straight shooter. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But the combination of those two guys being able to dribble, pass, and shoot and understand what the timing is on when they need to do it, I think they continue to get better. And I know the print media asked me the same thing that you guys did after the last game. Hey, are you concerned? No. You know, I think Bibbs has started every game since he's been here. I trust Bibbs. I'm riding with Bibbs. And does that mean that he's going to be perfect every night? No. But I'm going to ride with him. And obviously he played really well.
You mentioned Jamie McNeely. I know a lot of his mind goes into your entry plays, and it seemed like you found some cracks to exploit today there, particularly in the second half.
A lot of what Jamie does, whether it's his scout or not, today it was his scout. A lot of what he does is, if you were talking in football terms, is almost offensive coordinator-like. And obviously Jamie's been with me my whole career, and I coach Jamie, and so there's some symmetry there that he knows when to talk, and he knows when to call something, and he knows when I'm going to call something, and I think our symmetry is getting better. I don't necessarily think it's because of us, though, Lays. I think it's because our guys understand how we want to play. And so when I say something or when he says something, they know it's trending in what direction and why. And we don't have to communicate that to our guys. It's symmetry within the team and Jamie and I. And I think some of the things, Jeff is not coaching. Jeff is my coach. And so the things that he teaches me has been really important as we've evolved into what we're doing.
Talk a little bit about the shot selection. You talk about the line between good and great is delicate, and look at your numbers today.
Yeah, so for the game, Virginia Tech was 94% on perfect shots, 15 perfect shots. We shot 76% on great shots, 17. We shot 36% on good shots, only 14. And our bad shots, we were 0 of 8. And so I showed our guys, this is a little bit more, but thanks for asking. I showed our guys the totals of non-conference. This is how many bad shots we took. And then on the sheet, I showed them the total number of shots, and then I would say, because they're not really good with percentages, how many of those you think we made? We shot 5%. In our 12 non-conference games, we shot 5%. Was our field goal percentage on bad shots. And so I'm like, hey, guys, bad shots probably we don't need to shoot. But I think where they understand bad and they understand perfect. But to answer your question, that line between good and great, I think that's why Jim Collins wrote the book. It's 6%. And you've got to understand, I have to turn down this good one, even though it's enticing, and it's got to become a great one. And today, 32 great and perfect versus 22 good and bad. Okay, so now next time, can we get one more in the great and perfect category? And it's a fine line. It's an invisible line.
It's also about continuing to get better. This was a special moment already here in Blacksburg, but I've been around you long enough to know that the statement will be it only stays a special moment if you build on it going forward. You'll do that on the road this week. What will you be looking to accomplish the next couple of days before you leave for Raleigh?
Well, I know that maybe this goes out publicly, so I'll say it. One of the officials –
we got more than 2 listeners.
One of the officials asked me after I called the last timeout why I called the timeout.
Right.
An official has never asked me in my career why I called the timeout. And I said, what do you mean? I was coaching my team. And then I've heard some other things about what was going on in that particular timeout, and it's completely knocked me off my line. But here's the thing. I can't control all of that. What I can control is I'm responsible for our team. And my message during the last timeout, so it can become public record, was this is one game, and our responsibility is to handle it as such. Win or lose, that's not what we're striving for. We're striving for victory, and victory is the best version of ourselves. And so I was not calling a timeout for any unprofessionalism that was suggested my way.
All right, how about the last thing? You gave the guys a little gift today before the game, a little lotion.
Yeah.
How did that work out for them? See, they seem like they played pretty loose and free.
They thought it was funny. My wife is the one that got it for me, and so I bought 30 bottles. It worked out good. Maybe as my career unfolds, when it's over, maybe I can become a spokesperson for that company.
And because this is public record, we won't go into specifics as to the name of the product. But
that's the end of it.
It worked today, Coach.
Thanks.
Special day today. Congratulations,
Thank you.
man. Go
Happy
build
New
some
Year.
more. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Indeed.